Hi, guys. Welcome to the PHP. I'm Booker. That is Perez. What's doing?
Oh, my God. Well, first, I need to just acknowledge that I sound better on the video vlogcast this week. I had a light bulb go off and I'm like, wait a minute. Why does Booker sound so much better than I do? And then I'm like, wait a minute, he's able to connect his microphone to Zoom, which I didn't know you could do. So my mic is now on Zoom. So hopefully it's a more pleasurable viewing experience for everybody. And it took us like 10 minutes to figure it out before we were recording because I'm not very tech savvy, but we got it. And I'm happy about that. And I'm going to try something new right now.
Okay.
This week, we're talking about Meghan Markle's dad at it again, Kate Middleton involved in drama, Billie Eilish canceled by her own fans, all about Kanye's new romance with Irina Shayk, devastating Kim Kardashian news. I'm worried about Ben Affleck, and American Idol alum David Archuleta came out, and that actually made me sad, and more. Those are just like the top highlights.
Bravo.
How did I do?
Fantastic. We were talking about the laundry list of things he says at the top of the show. And I said, man, I'm all about, teasing. Teasing's great, but a proper tease is like keep people on the edge of their seat. So I could sit there and pick, what's my favorite story that I'm waiting on? And I think it's the Ben Affleck, but it's all coming up. So stay right here.
All right. How was your weekend? How was your week?
I think I'm drunk still because I had a barbecue yesterday and I drank so freaking much. And I'm not drunk. I'm just, like woozy, but I'm not hungover. I just still feel a little, dippy.
I can't really do that anymore. I went to a house party for a Pride on Friday.
Oh, cool.
And I can drink, but like 2 drinks and I'm good.
You're done, huh?
That's all I need. I don't or want anymore. Because then I just want to stay up late. I won't be able to go to bed as early. It's all just awful. But I did enjoy, oh my God, I enjoyed a donut that was delicious. And I enjoyed a slice of rainbow cake that was delicious, but not as delicious as my mom, who's been eating her face off in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. She went to Beauty in Essex last night and sent me all these like 20 photos, 20 photos. And
I love that place.
Yeah. And she's there with my sister celebrating my sister's birthday. And I did not know that my sister actually listens to or watches our podcast every week.
Well, it was great. Last week we had the conversation about Mandy, right?
Yes.
And then
my sister's daughter's name.
Right. So I'm on the email chain. Maybe she emailed you and me first, right? Yes. About his story's complete bullshit. That's not how it happened. Blah, blah, blah. Then a whole back and forth. I just ignored it at one point. I'm like, I'm not even supposed to be on this. These two are legit fighting back and forth about this name and the story. It's so funny.
We weren't fighting. My sister was just trying to rewrite history. And listen, one of my problems, and I own up to this, I have a brain that's like a sponge. Like I would imagine most people, right? And unfortunately, I consume so much information. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just forget things. I'm not ever really trying to rewrite history.
Right, yeah.
But with this situation, I vividly remember having a conversation with multiple conversations with my mother over the fact that my sister was upset that I wanted to call my then unborn child Mandy, but she wanted that name. So I said, you know what? I'll just let her have the name. And now my sister's saying, oh, I don't remember that happening at all. And she's just rewriting history. I will just say it that way and not say she's lying.
Well, she's not here to defend herself, and I'll just say that I tuned out after about the 3rd email.
Anyways, our podcast is now available to listen on the iHeart app. Mm-hmm. So if you consume other shows that way, add us to your feed. Is that how it works? Feed?
Yeah.
Subscription?
And do it anyhow. Just subscribe to our show. If you have the iHeartRadio app, just subscribe. Every subscription helps.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into some royal drama. And I think I'm almost tempted to just have us be an exclusive royal podcast because I think our listeners and
They do like it.
really love royalty. So I've got a lot of it to talk to you all about. But first, do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. And I bet it could be hard work. You know what's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing too because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com. All right, over to Montecito, where Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are dealing with the fallout of her father's new explosive interview with 60 Minutes Australia. And you all know I am not a fan of Thomas Markle. And it seems like he still has not learned his lesson, or he's still broke. But to his credit, over the last, I would say, 12 months, he's been relatively quiet. You know, there was a while there where he was talking every week or every month to somebody, and he hasn't granted many or much interviews over the last year, but he did in Australia, and he had a lot to say, specifically criticizing Oprah Winfrey. Meghan's dad says, I have things to say. Oprah Winfrey, for one, I think is playing Harry and Meghan. I think she is using them to build her network and build her shows. And I think she's taken advantage of a very weakened man and has got him to say things that you just shouldn't be saying on television. She will disagree, of course, and she may even sue me. I don't care. But the bottom line is she is working with Harry. Well, duh, we know she's working with Harry. And this is what I would call a symbiotic relationship or a mutually parasitic relationship. They're friends and they're also exploiting each other and benefiting off each other and making each other that much richer. So I wouldn't say that Prince Harry is gullible in any of this. He knows exactly what he's doing. I would not even call him a weakened man. He's somebody that suffered a lot of trauma in his life. I will absolutely acknowledge that, but then so have I. So have probably most people in this world. Life is not easy. Mm-hmm. He went on to say that he was disappointed that he did not find out about the birth of his granddaughter from Meghan or Harry. He found out about it through the media, blah, 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 blah. Of course it hurts, he says, blah, 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 blah. And he said more. I don't really care about the rest. The Oprah part was the one that I was most interested in. And then I have a lot more royalty to get to, but do you have anything to add?
No, I think everything that has been stated thus far by him is duh. It's obvious. It's kind of what I'd been saying all along. They're in cahoots. They are making money off of one another. I think his point, though, is Oprah is the one that's really winning out of everyone because it does benefit her the most because it's her network and the commerce.
No. It's not her network. Like she's doing this stuff for Apple Plus. That's not her network.
Well, she gets paid for it though, which inadvertently goes into Oprah's pocket.
Yes.
She's looking
and
at
getting paid for it too.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. I mean, it probably is symbiotic. Like you said, it's probably, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, and we're all in on it. But the negative ramifications could only affect Harry. He's the only one that could be affected by this.
I mean, and there are major negative ramifications, specifically, with his family and with the British public.
Right.
So we'll see how that pans out. But speaking of his family, it's interesting because I think the British royal family now is scared of Meghan and Harry. They're afraid because they're these recluses now who will say whatever they want without consideration for the rest of the family. And that's dangerous for the royal family.
See, I just from watching The Crown, and I know The Crown is not reality, and it's perceived renditions of things that have happened in the life, but they just don't seem to care. They don't seem to even participate. They barely know what's going on. I just think they ignore them at this point.
Well, what I was leading to was, in the past, the royals might have lied, and actually they're still lying. The British royal family, or allegedly lying, I should say, and I'll explain that in a second. But easing my way to that next royal crumpet is this nugget that we got from Meghan Markle's sister-in-law, Kate Middleton. Prince William's wife was out and about in the UK with Jill Biden, the First Lady of the United States. They were all there, she and the president, for the G7 summit. And they asked Meghan Markle's sister-in-law if she has seen the baby or FaceTimed. And Kate Middleton said, no, I can't wait to meet her. I wish her all the very best, and confirmed that they have not even met her through FaceTime. The baby's close to a month old now. And if I lived in another country, I would have at least FaceTimed my new niece.
Sure.
And in the past, I would imagine if Harry and Meghan played the game, Kate Middleton could have been like, oh, yes, we have. Yes, of course we have, even if they hadn't. Mm-hmm. But she can't fib now. She can't say, yes, I've FaceTimed with the baby if she hasn't, because Harry and Meghan might call them out.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. Well, go ahead.
Okay, but it's not on what's her face? What's her name?
Kate Middleton?
Kate Middleton. It's not on Kate. She's just going to tell the truth. So she has no reason to lie. She's like, look, if they want to call, they can. She's not calling to say, hey, let me see the baby over FaceTime. That's the mom's job, right?
No, I would say it's your job.
As the niece or as the aunt?
Yes.
Nah, I think that when they're ready to be seen and they're ready to show their child, they get on the phone and they start calling their family. I don't think you call them and like, hey, let me see the baby. I would think that the mom would run that one.
I think you're so wrong there.
I don't have kids. I mean, you could be right, but
you would feel slighted if they don't. That's how I would view it. Like, I cannot believe my aunt or my cousin or my godmother hasn't called or texted to see how I'm doing and wanting to see the baby. That's how I would view it. But maybe Booker's right. What do you guys think? Call us and let us know. 800-721-1185. What's interesting is I mentioned a second ago that, the palace does things a certain way. Like a lot of celebrities do, they will give information to the media off the record. I say, and I truly believe this, the BBC is like the New York Times in the UK. They're very credible, vetted, research, thorough, above the board. And they ran a story that Harry and Meghan did not get the Queen's approval to name their daughter Lilibet before she was born. The BBC reported that, according to a palace source. Well, Meghan and Harry are just, I don't know how I would describe their actions, but they're, I guess, tired of the lies, and they're not going to let something like that slide. They had their publicist say that it's a lie and demand that the BBC take down that story. The BBC refused to take down that story, and they are now even threatening to sue the BBC for defamation. But what's fascinating to me is they cannot change how media works. If, let's say, the official spokesperson for the Queen told the BBC, I'm telling you, this is what happened off the record, then that's what the official spokesperson for the Queen said, but they just don't want to be named. And they're palace insiders, a palace source.
It's a source. That's all that it is. Yeah. And they vetted their source. It was actually said. They probably have a recording of it said somewhere, which they're not publishing, of course, to cover their ass just in case. I'm sure the BBC is like, okay, sue us. Knock yourself out. You're going to look dumb, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of, I don't know if this is dumb or not, or I don't know if he speaks for the British people. I know that we have a lot of listeners and viewers in the UK, so I'm curious to hear what they think. But Oasis icon Noel Gallagher had this to say in a new interview about Prince William and Prince Harry.
This should be good.
Well, I learned a new word. Have you ever heard the word Gobby before?
Mm-mm.
I think I had heard it, but I hadn't heard it in years. Yeah. Gobby is a person tending to talk too loudly and in a blunt or opinionated way. I'm Gobby. So somebody, after I reported this story, they're like, oh, Noel Gallagher is just Gobby. I'm like, well, that's not a bad thing. I'm Gobby. Anyways, Noel Gallagher said, Prince William, I feel that blanking lad's pain. He's got a blanking younger brother shooting his blanking mouth off with blank that is just so unnecessary. I'd like to think I was always the William. Prince Harry is coming across like a typical blanking woke snowflake, blanking blank hole. Just don't be blanking dissing your family because there's no need for it. I think this all the blankings made it that much funnier. So yeah, it's interesting how they're almost like viewing his being in term. He's viewing it like in a political term. I never viewed it as politics, but I guess some people do. And I'm curious. Let us know if you're British. What do you think about what Noel had to say? Anything that you would like to add?
No, it's funny.
We're going to get to Billie Eilish in a second.
Okay.
But first, I was very happy to see the Queen performing royal duties and smiling while she hosted Joe Biden. And did you see her cutting a cake with a sword?
Cutting the cake with the sword. Yeah, that was pretty wild, man. She's bad. I'm telling you. You got to watch that show. She's so good at the show. She does shit like that all the time. Hunts and she's tough.
She probably even barbecues.
I bet she does.
I
bet she doesn't have a meter like I do.
She needs a meter. You used your meter, which is this super fancy meat thermometer, a Bluetooth meat thermometer. You used your meter this weekend?
Well, I had a friend over and he's got something called a Traeger, right? And so that's a smoker. But we smoked ribs. So he wanted to put his ribs up against my ribs. So he brings his smoker in, which you fucking plug in, by the way. I go, what is this? I go, you don't plug your damn grill in. I go, mine's with actual wood. And, I'm out there smoking.
How does he bring a big old thing in? Like
He's got a truck. And the Traeger's actually not that. I mean, we carried it out of his truck into the yard. It's not heavy or anything. But anyhow, so we did a cook-off. But geez, Boo-Boo, shut up. My cat is out of control. We did a competition, my ribs versus his ribs. Now, but I have my meter, right? So I can get mine, and I made sure that mine sat right around 240 all day long. I smoked for about 4.5 hours yesterday. And when you have this meter,
4.5 hours? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. It's legit, but my ribs are so smoked. They smell and taste great. But anyhow, so I was in the pool most of the day dicking around, but it's Bluetooth. So I could check my phone and make sure my grill is still sitting right around 240, 225, right in that zone. Right. And that's how it works.
So you won.
I think I won.
All right.
I don't know. We kind of do two different style of ribs, but yeah, the meter is a lifesaver. It really is. If you cook on a grill, it's a lifesaver. It's the best product ever.
You guys could win too. Get 10% off your meter with code Perez at meter.com. That's MEATER.com. It's barbecue season. Let's get to grilling. All right, Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is 19, almost 20 years old. I can't believe that because it feels like just yesterday she was 15.
Yeah.
And she's got herself a new boyfriend.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, she's dating this actor.
I'm sorry, who's she dating?
She's dating this actor or wannabe actor. I don't know how much work he's done. His name is Matthew Tyler Vorci. I think that, or Vorse. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. Vorse, I don't know. And he's questionable in age. There's no confirmed source that reports exactly how old he is, although I saw somewhere that said 29, whatever, she's 19, almost 20, he's 29. And recently Billie's been involved in 2 scandals that both have upset her fans, and I should say scandals in air quotes.
Okay.
First, she released that music video for her new song Lost Cause, which I really like the song. I'll be transparent, I'm old. I think this must come with age and being busier, but I just didn't watch the music video.
I didn't actually know there was a video for Lost Cause. So
yeah, it's like her and her girlfriends, and they're all wearing Kim Kardashian's Skims. Anyways, her fans were upset that they perceived the video to be queer baiting. Right? Like pretending to be a woman that likes women. That's the new term. WLW, women loving women, or women who love women. I did not know that. I love it.
Yeah, never heard of that.
Yeah, pretending to be, allegedly, they think she's pretending. And then she sent out a post. She captioned it on Instagram, I like girls, or I love women, or something like that. And then her fans thought that either that was coming out but not specific and wasn't clear, or they thought it was even more queer baiting. So that's one issue, which honestly, I'm not upset about it at all. Like, I think this whole conversation about identity and sexuality, for many people, not all, for many, it's still important, but for many, like, they're still figuring it out. Why do you even have to come out? Like, why do we assume that she's heterosexual? Why can't we presume or assume that she's pansexual or whatever? Like,
yeah,
younger women are way more fluid and open with their sexuality than older people.
Well, I saw the post and I didn't perceive it as a coming out post or a coming out moment.
You didn't.
I didn't. I perceived it as I love my girls. Like I just love I love my people, my girls, almost to the point of it's just girl power, like girl power. That's how I took it. It didn't cross my mind to look at it as like, well, she's coming out. That's silly.
But I think that
it's not silly coming out, by the way. I don't want to be perceived that way.
That was a result or in response to all of the fans that were upset with the alleged queer baiting.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And then now her fans are even more upset after old social media posts of her new boyfriend have resurfaced, in which a decade ago, he might have still been a teenager then. But damn, like, this is a failure on some part, because the parents were either not monitoring what this teenager was saying, or I guess at 19 years old, like, what can you do if you have a 19-year-old? That's an adult.
I think they say so much dumb shit all of the time. It's impossible to keep up on the dumb shit, especially online.
Well, let me tell you though, like, this kid, when he was a kid, racist, homophobic, fat phobic, slut shaming, and more. I get, maybe he thought he was trying to be funny. I don't know. But now they're upset that she's dating him. And then that's like another reason why her fandom is like imploding. But that's something that a young person would think. Like if I'm an old person, I don't know. I guess the equivalent is J-Lo and Ben Affleck, right? Like, but part of me doesn't care. Like if I don't think they're good for each other, I'm like, part of me is like, oh, I don't think they're good for each other, but I'm along for the ride. This is going to blow up and it's a mess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, getting yourself invested in anybody that you don't really know is silly to me. So I mean, if it just comes back to the entertainment for me, are these people entertaining me again? I'm, Ben and Jen, this is it. This is entertaining. It's really entertaining.
Well, we'll get to that later, but, yeah, I guess what it boils down to is a lot of, or most, I would say, of Billie Eilish's fans are very young. And for them, this is a very serious issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, like, I think I do a good job. I can compartmentalize things and I can be objective. I've said it on this podcast before. Madonna is my number one artist of all time. And by all accounts, she's a major biatch. I still love her music. She's still my number one artist of all time, even though she's for decades been a major biatch.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
In similar news, talking about queer issues, and at one point in time, he was very popular. David Archuleta. Remember him from American Idol?
I do. Cute kid.
Yeah. Well, he's a man now. God,
he kind of reminds me of your son. Like his look when he was a young kid. I kind of feel like your boy has the same sort of face as him. You remember him when he was young and not think of your boy? I mean, they have the same face to me.
I could see that. Well, he's 30 years old now.
Wow. He's crazy.
He's going to be 31 later this year. And after a very long time struggling, he finally came out as part of the LGBTQIA plus community without literally putting a label on his sexuality. Although he did also say that he's kind of asexual as well and bisexual as well. And, I read his very long post, and he grew up Mormon, and he kept talking about God throughout the post of his coming out publicly, even though he claims that he's been out privately to his loved ones for 7 years or so. And it seems to me that he's still working through a lot of issues. And it truly made me sad, because he is one of the so many, in my mind, victims of religion that says gay is a sin. Just you being gay or being in a gay relationship or making out with another guy, kissing somebody, that's a sin. And he grew up with so much shame, and it's painful for me and for so many. And I wish him nothing but love and peace and a lot of sex. I think in his mind, he's asexual because he still believes that gay sex is a sin. And that's just crushing. Be a big whore. That's what I wish for Colton Underwood too. He also is a very religious person too, and grew up Catholic, not Mormon. Although it was really cute to see Colton Underwood was with his grandmother, swiping through this app. I'm not going to mention the app because I wonder if it was like a marketing thing and he got paid to do that.
Probably.
And they were like looking at guys together. Anyways, be a big slut, but make sure you stay hydrated, okay? Because having a lot of sex can take it out of you. I recommend having some hydrant in your water, keeping it by your bedstand so that you can enjoy throughout an hour-long lovemaking session. If you don't know what hydrant is a refreshing drink mix powder made with 4 key electrolytes: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc. It's made with real fruit juice powder and no artificial sweeteners or synthetic colors. No nonsense, all science. I've given some to my mom. I'm enjoying it myself. She loves it. I'm so grateful for Hydrant because she used to put this competing brand that was cheap and bad in her water. But I'm glad she's now switched over because it's so much better for her and she's drinking water. Staying hydrated is truly so important, and so is saving money. We've got a special deal for our listeners and viewers to save 20% off your first order, or subscribe and save 30% off of Hydrant with your first subscription order. Go to drinkhydrant.com/Perez or enter our promo code Perez at checkout. That's drinkhydrant.com/Perez and enter promo code Perez for 20% off your first order. I still don't like it, but there's been this explosion in boxing this year.
Yeah.
Celebrity boxing, influencer boxing. And I still think it's barbaric and dumb and stupid and all of the other adjectives and descriptions that I could come up with it for. But if you missed it, Lamar Odom, Khloe Kardashian's ex-husband, recently over the weekend fought Aaron Carter. And while I think it's stupid, I'm really happy and I respect the hustle. And like I said before, if somebody approached me and paid me a good amount of money, I would do a wrestling match with somebody. I'm down to wrestle, but boxing, I don't know about that. Anyways, did you watch any of the Lamar Odom and Aaron
I didn't
Carter?
even know they fought. That didn't even come across my radar.
They made it to 2 rounds. And then like Aaron Carter was just like doing spins and just running around the ring, trying to get away from him. It was embarrassing and hilarious. But I'm glad he's making money. I've said this on the podcast time and time again. I think a lot of Aaron Carter's issues with alleged mental health concerns or alleged substance abuse issues, I don't know. A lot of it probably just stems from not having stability and financial safety in his life. So I'm glad he made money. Also, these TikTokers and YouTubers fought in a stadium. Like they're selling out a stadium. Bryce Hall and Austin Mcbroom were the headliners. You probably didn't even hear about that one other than from our podcast because we've been promoting.
That's literally the only place I'd heard of it. I didn't know it actually happened this weekend.
Because you don't know either of those guys, right?
I've never heard their names before in my life. I know it's TikTok versus YouTube, and we were rooting for YouTube because TikTok could suck it.
Well, let me tell you, all the YouTubers won with one exception. They dominated. And the main event, Bryce Hall versus Austin Mcbroom, Austin Mcbroom won, and I'm not a fan of that Bryce Hall guy, and he got demolished. I'm talking bloody nose, bloody face, and everything. Like, I love that, like, it wasn't a Logan Paul and Floyd. If Floyd Mayweather wanted to let Logan Paul have it, the dude would have had a broken nose, blood everywhere. None of that happened. This guy, Austin Mcbroom, went for it, and Bryce Hall is so cocky and a D-bag, so that was thoroughly satisfying to watch.
I don't know who these people are.
Anyways, I just wanted to mention that briefly, and I am available for a wrestling match. If anybody wants to wrestle Perez, it would be hilarious. But
I agree with you. I think it would be very funny to watch you wrestle someone, you in your little wrestling singlet.
But not a fake wrestling match. I'm not talking WWE. I mean like real wrestling.
Right, like high school wrestling.
But not high school wrestling. Like I want to be able to like jump off from the ring.
You're talking like WWE style,
but real. WWE style, but real. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like that's scripted. Like if I'm gonna fight somebody, I'm not gonna pull punch it. Like I want to like. I don't want to be able to like pull hair. No pulling hair, but like actual. Like I want to just demolish somebody without punching them. So,
you're crazy. Listen, do you rent or own your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, see how much you could save. Geico.com, easy.
All right. I bet you Kanye West uses Geico.com because he's got so many homes. He's still making Wyoming his primary residence, but update, he's been spending a lot of time in New York City recently because Kanye's new lady interest, Irina Shayk, lives in New York City. And if you missed it, they just went on a couple's getaway with friends to Paris. I wonder, I guess, like whatever, if you're really rich and I guess can provide proof of vaccination or whatever, you can do whatever you want. Is Paris even open if people wanted to go? I guess it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Most countries are. I mean, Italy, Germany, all you just need is a proof of vaccination to get into most countries now, I believe.
So they had a good old time in Paris. Irina, I love it, is calling the shots here. Allegedly, she's the one that wants to keep this casual. They met through mutual friends in the fashion world, and they've known each other for a while. And Kim Kardashian apparently is unbothered and genuinely happy for Kanye, with one concern, which makes total sense to me. And I thought of this. Kim's concern, according to a very reputable source, an insider, is her kids. She wants to make sure that, Kanye isn't too distracted and too in love, and that he's still making time for his children and spending time with them, and not just all about Irina Shayk. Kim, quote, doesn't want a new girlfriend to distract Kanye from spending time with the kids. So there's that. And I don't know what's more devastating for Kim Kardashian. There's two, I think I know what it is. There's two devastating things that happened. One, she took the baby bar again and failed for the second time. If she's really serious about this, why not just enroll in law school? Wouldn't that make sense?
It's probably hard for her to sit in a university class amongst college students. I don't think you'd accomplish anything. Everyone would be staring at you. You'd be the biggest fish in the tank every day. I would just think if she was serious, she would just hire a real teacher to come out and teach her like a real class. But
I don't know. Maybe
law school's very hard. It's not easy. Passing that bar is not an easy thing to do.
Well, she's now failed it 2 times in a row. Honestly, I give her so much credit. Like, I've always dreamt and desired to learn to play a musical instrument like the piano. But my brain tells me that at 43 years old, I'm too old to learn to play the piano. I just do not have the brain space to absorb learning a new instrument. And the fact that she's even attempted this, I did not want to not mention that this time, because when we talked about her losing it the first time, I didn't give her enough credit. So I want to give her her flowers. Have you heard that expression? That's a big expression that I've only heard in 2021. Everybody talks about giving somebody their flowers. So I'm giving Kim Kardashian her flowers. And the other thing that's devastating is Kanye West unfollowed Kim Kardashian on Twitter. Not only did he unfollow Kim on Twitter, he unfollowed the entire family. That's kind of petty, right?
Yes and no.
No?
I think if you're trying to honestly, seriously move on with your life, you kind of don't want that reminder. You don't want to see her move on with somebody new, which is inevitable. See her partying, seeing them have a good time. I think it's normal to unfollow someone like that. Well, I don't think it's, yes, it can be perceived as petty because they're famous people, but still, I still kind of get it.
I would say it's not the most mature option because he's got 4 children with her. She and her sisters and Kris Jenner are always going to be his family. And if you didn't know this, like with Instagram as well, you can mute somebody on Instagram and none of their content will show up on your feed.
Yeah.
So he
wanted to be a little petty. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with you on that. I think it was a, hey, everybody, look what I did moment. Because that's Kanye. Kanye can't help himself. Come on. He's still Kanye.
But it concerns me, or, like.
It just entertains me. It doesn't concern me a percentage point. He
has been wonderfully quiet on social media this year, which I view as a good thing. But if he cares enough to unfollow them on Twitter, that's like a little red flag. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of red flags, I would say this is a medium-sized red flag.
Okay. A fuchsia flag?
I don't know, but I will share the counterpoint. So we all know that Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. Yeah.
Wrong Jen.
We all know that Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are full steam ahead, and their rekindling has been embraced by the family. Ben was spotted in Vegas with J-Lo's mother, Guadalupe, I believe is her name. Right? Lupe.
Yeah, Lupe. Yeah.
He is there directing a movie, but according to multiple reports, during some off time, Ben was spotted at the Wynn gambling. Mm-hmm. And some reports claim that he previously had gambling issues. However, and this is where I like to be fair, in an interview a few years back, I forget what year, but not that long ago, maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, Ben Affleck talked about that and said that those were just rumors, that he never had gambling issues, according to him.
Yeah. I don't think his issue was gambling. I think it was, substance abuse.
So, but then again, like I'm not an expert, but I would imagine that in the past, when he would go gambling, he used to drink, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a trigger, some would say. Like,
okay, that's fair.
You're back doing the same thing that you used to do when you were heavy partying, and wishing positive vibes for him.
He's a good gambler. He's a blackjack player.
Well, I read this, that he got banned from a hotel.
He did.
For counting cards. But why is that? Why is that illegal? That doesn't seem like it should be against the rules. Like, if you're smart enough to be able to count cards.
Yeah, I never could understand that either. Some people are just crazy good at math. I don't know if he's that good. He's just, I think he's taken a lot of money from some casinos. I've gambled with him before. And one night we were gambling and he was way down. I want to say, because he gets on the phone, like he'll sit at the table and he knows the owner of the freaking casino. I forget which casino we were in.
It was the Hard Rock. Or the one that he
no. He wasn't. That's not where we were. I want to say we were in another hotel. I just don't. It wasn't the Wynn. I want to say it was MGM.
Okay.
But anyhow, we were in the casino and he, goes to the dealer, says, give me whatever on the phone. He gets the phone. He's like, I need a line. And I think he took a line for like, 100,000 out, or maybe a couple of $100,000 out, to play with. So he doesn't even have cash on him, but it's amazing. So they're like, they give him a line. And I remember he went way down. And when you play, when you go to these high stakes tables or whatever, I'm like, I can't play. And they're like, no, just play whatever you want. Like you're with someone that's spending a lot of money. So if I wanted to play a $20, $25 hand, which is pretty much what I do, I'm not in that, that tax bracket where I'm going to be betting, $1,000 per hand, anything like that. So I got myself down. I was down a good chunk, but nothing crazy. You know what I mean? I was probably down.
What a fun story.
Yeah. So I'm probably down like, I don't know, $500. I'm like, this sucks. I'm going to bed. Ben was way down. Like, I think he had to go for another line.
Wait, so you left him and he kept
left him. He kept going.
Was he with anybody?
No, he was just, but he likes to play. You know what I mean? And
God, when that gives me so much anxiety.
Oh, me too. But what's cool about that? Like, it was really late and I'm like, I'm hungry. And he's like, what do you want to eat? And I go, I don't know. And he goes, well, name anything. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what are my options? He goes, your options are anything. Like, what do you want? I would like a grilled cheese. He goes to the person. Can we get grilled cheese for us too? And, and drinks and whatever. 10 minutes, middle of the fucking night. It's probably 2 a.m. 10 minutes later, sure enough, grilled cheese shows up. No menu, anything. I probably could have said, get me in and out. Somebody probably would have went to get it. It was crazy. But he went way down. But I remember getting on the jet on the way home. Like, we've jumped on the jet, and I'll just say this. He opened his bag and it was full of cash. So it was, I'm not going to say what he won, but he won.
Wow.
When you have that kind of money and you know how to play, I think you just keep waiting for that one shoe. And he told me later, he caught the one shoe. And when you hit it, you stand on it. And he just kept standing on it and standing. He made all of it back and then some. It was crazy to watch. Crazy.
Well, J-Lo is all about her Ben, and they're so happy together. This is like next level coupledom. They're even wearing each other's clothes now.
I saw that, the plaid shirt. Yes.
The flannel shirt. Aww. In more couples news, congratulations to Chris Pratt and Katherine Schwarzenegger Pratt. I never formulate what I'm going to say ahead of time. This is a peculiar way of expressing your love, which I might perceive as a little degrading, but in his mind, I'm sure he thinks he's being funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing you haven't heard this story yet, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So Chris Pratt and Katherine Schwarzenegger were celebrating their 2-year wedding anniversary. They're married. They had a child together. Congratulations. He did this carousel post on Instagram with a bunch of different photos and then like a funny caption, like something along the lines of blah, 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 blah. And here's hoping for at least 2 more years, if I'm lucky. But 2 out of the like 6 or 8 photos, and he mentioned that all the things that she does for him, she clips his toenails. And he included 2 photos of her smiling, looking up at him, clipping his toenails. I would not think that's funny. I would not think that's funny.
I find that funny.
No.
Maybe he can't reach his toenails. He's not very flexible.
He's so rich. He could have somebody come do his toes whenever he wants. But listen, I love that she loves her man so much that she happily and with a smile on her face will do his damn toenails. But then to put that out into the universe from that angle and doing that act, it did not sit right with me.
Why? They're a couple. Couples do things like that for one another all of the time. There's nothing even slightly weird about that. Not even a little bit.
No, I know
it's just
that.
funny even that they posted it.
Well,
it's
that's
just
what I'm getting at.
All the way around.
I said there was nothing wrong with her doing that. I think it's great. I think it's beautiful.
I just think it's that they're just showing how good of a couple they are. They're sharing it with everyone. I don't see this even as odd. If you just him looking like, I don't know, just it didn't sit right with me. What do you guys? Weird. I don't think I'm weird. I think I'm very sensible. What do you guys think? Let us know. Maybe I need just to mellow out
or whatever. I have been getting my sleep, thankfully. This episode is brought to you by Rise, a science-based app that makes it easy to improve your sleep and daily energy. Sleep is as necessary as air or water or food. And you know what? If you're not, you can become a morning person. And don't worry, Rise will help you do it. This is an app that is using scientific and fact-based research and an approach to help you get the sleep your body needs. If you don't know about sleep debt, well, you will with Rise. Rise works by pulling historical data from your phone, apps, and wearables to tell you your sleep need, track your sleep debt, and determine the best time for you to go to sleep. Every morning, Rise tells you how long you'll be groggy, when your best focus times will be, and when you should start winding down for better sleep. Rise helps you realize your potential with real results. 80% of Rise users feel the benefits within 5 days. Go to risescience.com/Perez and download the Rise app today to try it for free for 7 days. That's risescience.com/Perez to try the Rise app for free for 7 days. All right. In some wacky news or easily triggered people news, there's a lot of easily triggered people. This is so hilarious to me. I love Mindy Kaling. I think she's such a talented actress and creator, writer. She is going to be behind this new animated show called Velma, where they are taking Velma from the Scooby-Doo franchise and reimagining her as somebody from East Asian descent. And in her own world, where actually Scooby-Doo and Shaggy and the gang don't exist. And so many people are upset about this. Hello, it's a freaking cartoon. Like, if Warner Brothers wants to make Bugs Bunny female now, guess what? They can. It's a cartoon. It's not like some historical, it's not like all of a sudden, like if they try to make a movie and Martin Luther King is a woman or whatever, like, no, like, who cares? Like,
didn't this just happen with, they casted a young black girl for, what was it? She was just some sort of princess, and someone say, like Ariel, that's what it was. They're like, no, she's redheaded. Yes. Remember? Something like that. Yeah. The Little Mermaid. Thank you.
Yeah.
People are nuts.
Yeah. That was so funny to me. Do you have HBO Max?
I do.
Oh, by the way, I do not have HBO Max because I don't have regular HBO.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
No, I thought I did too. And then my sister was like, oh no, that was too expensive to add to the DirecTV. If DirecTV is listening, or if HBO is listening and they want to give me HBO Max for free, I would love it. You want to know why? For the main reason. Well, first of all, I need to watch the Sex and the City. It's not a reboot. It's got even a different name. It's called And Just Like That, which is interesting. Like, they want to make it really be not Sex and the City. It's a new show, some new characters. So I definitely will watch that. Is
that a series? Is that going to be just like Sex and like it'll be a 30-minute weekly
limited
appointment TV kind of thing? Limited. Cool. All right.
Yeah. I got my brother-in-law some Father's Day presents because Father's Day coming up. And I said to my sister, because she came to my house before she went to Vegas with my mom, and my brother-in-law couldn't make it. And I said, here, this is for your husband. Don't feel obligated to give me anything back in return. But if you do want to, why don't you guys get HBO Max and give me the password and we can share it as a family? So
that's a good gift.
The main reason I want to get HBO Max is because, and I don't think he's quite ready yet. My son is like literally at least 2 times a week is begging me to watch A Nightmare on Elm Street, then the Freddy series.
Cool.
And I'm like, that one's real intense.
There's a call that has something to do with that, I believe. And I'll save it for the calls, but somebody brings scary movies up or something. So we'll get to that in the calls.
We'll get to that. Also, people are so triggered because Starbucks is running low on a lot of ingredients. Oh my God. Try something new, people. Like, although, you know what? I am one of those people. Every once in a while, I would go to Starbucks to get an a large cold brew, and they're like always out, and it pisses me off, and I won't get anything else. So I sort of see both.
You're like, you're Starbucks. You have one job to have this. I get you.
I mean, I don't need like the guava, like some of the really fancy one. Like, they don't have guava or peach juice or whatever, fine. But if you're not going to have cold brew, like what the hell?
Come on. What are we doing here? Let me bring up Mare of Easttown, the Kate Winslet show. I believe that is on
watching that?
I love it. I have got one left. It is Kate Winslet's amazing. And it's set outside this town that they've made up that's outside of Philadelphia, and they have the Philadelphia accents. And I mean, they have it down. I mean, it's so well acted. I'm enjoying it. So if you guys are looking for a new show and you have I believe it's HBO Max, Mare of Easttown. That's her name, Mare, Mare. It's phenomenal. Great watch.
I have not watched this, but one of my best friends watched this other show on HBO Max that maybe you should check out. He loves it. It's called Hacks. Have you heard of it?
I think somebody was trying to get me to watch that. One of our listeners was,
really?
Because I talk TV with a lot of our listeners. Like people will be like, "Hey, give me a show," and I'll give them a show, and then people were like, "Hey, you got to watch this show." And I believe that's one that someone brought up.
Yeah. All right. Two quick things, and actually, fudge a couple. Okay. Really briefly, because we're wrapping things up.
Mm-hmm.
Two quick things, and then we're gonna do a new segment. At the very end, it's like a 60-second music wrap up.
Okay.
I know you hate talking about music, but I love it. Anyway,
that's not true. What are you talking about? We talk about music all the fucking time.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it again. It's so mind-boggling to me that this whole vaccination thing has really become a political issue. I saw this new poll that CBS News did that by this point in June, 77% of Democrats are fully or partially vaccinated, whereas only 52% of Republicans are fully or partially vaccinated. And maybe it's not a political issue. Maybe it's, an education or lack thereof issue.
You nailed it right there.
But
that's it.
It's just so sad to me. People, please. There's still people that are getting this, and there's still people that are dying. I looked at the statistics here in California, in Los Angeles, and people are still dying. So it's sad. What are your thoughts on this new trend? I actually saw that this gay bar owned by Alan Cumming is doing it in New York City, where they are implementing a COVID vaccination policy where in order to enter the gay bar, you need to provide proof of vaccination. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Great thing.
I don't know. I'm not bothered by it, but at the same time, like if you're vaccinated, then it shouldn't really matter to you if other people aren't, right?
Well, I think it's an issue because not all kids are yet. So if you're passing along something that kids could possibly get, that's the danger. That's all where the danger lies at this point.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right. We're going to wrap it up with our new music segment, or maybe I wouldn't even put it in the end next week. Last week, we spoke about the Lorde comeback and the single cover where her bum was in full display. The song came out. I loved it upon first listen. Booker was ambivalent, did not dislike it, I would say, but you didn't really love it upon first listen. Then you listened to it a couple more times. And what are your thoughts now on
Yeah, I do like it, but then I quickly caught on and I was telling Perez, the thing about it is it reminds me of something else so much. And I'm like, what is it? And you couldn't come up with it either. Excuse me. And then all day I'm thinking about it. I keep listening to it. I'm like, this is another song. And then it hits me. I go, and I text Perez. I go, it's George Michael. This is Freedom. This is literally chord by chord slowed down George Michael Freedom. It's not even debatable. I mean, if you went to court, you would lose every day of the week. So I don't know how that works with George Michael's camp or who fights that, but I think she's got problems. That is a George Michael song.
And what I told Booker was, he's not credited as a songwriter. There's no sample.
Yeah, and you agree with me wholeheartedly, right?
Absolutely. It's totally based off of that Freedom 90 riff.
It's the same riff. I mean, it's not even like off. It's like you could play one on top of the other. It's wild, but I do like it. It's it's interesting, but I can't really get over that part that I'm just hearing another song again. So, and I like that song. So I don't know.
Megan Thee Stallion is back. She released a new song and music video for Thought Shit. I thought it was
heard
good.
The song. Good song.
It was okay. Yeah. My thoughts exactly. Not the best, but not bad. Decent. Doja Cat, however.
Yes. Yeah.
She gave me like A fever, like this song, Need to Know. Whew.
That's a big song.
Like, I don't even have words. And like, I there's still a part of me that still is like upset with her homophobic past that she's never apologized for. But like I said, like earlier on in the podcast, when talking about Madonna, even if I don't like somebody, I can still acknowledge when they bring the fire, and she brought that song. Anyways, Nicki Minaj is also back. She guested on some other rapper's song and blah, 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 blah. That was just fine. The surprise of the week for me, 2 surprises. If you're looking for new music, one, it's almost painful for me to acknowledge greatness from them. Adam Levine and Maroon 5.
We both agreed. We like that song.
A new song with Stevie Nicks called Remedy. And Booker nailed it. He's like, they've got it down to like a formula.
Yeah.
It's lacking any soul or substance, but it's still good. And I can't knock it. It's good. But the most surprising new release for me, and I'm so happy, even though I don't think it's going to be a hit, because unfortunately, I think her moment has passed, but I love the song. You guys listen and support, stream it, watch the music video, give it a shout out. Jessie J released a new song called I Want Love. Great song. If you're a gay or somebody who works in music or just is so passionate about it, you'll get this reference from the 90s. If you're old, totally reminds me of Anastasia.
I thought Robin at first, then Perez said, no, Anastasia. I'm like, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, great song.
Yes.
Not a hit, but a great song.
Well, I think it's a hit, but it's not going to be a hit, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's that. Let's take some calls.
All right, let's do it. 800-721-1185. Here we go.
Hey, guys. It's Liz from New York. My almost 12-year-old daughter and I are in the car together, and this is her first time listening to the podcast.
Whoops.
And we just heard what Perez did over the weekend, and you took your son to see The Conjuring, and both of our jaws just hit the floor. Like, her first thing was, how old is he? So I just want to know, because you skimmed right over it, how was that experience? Because it just seems like such an extreme movie for such a little guy. So yeah, I just wanted to know what that experience was, and we just wanted to tell you that we love you guys, and you're keeping us company on this drive. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Oh, thank you. He loved it. I mean, my son and I now have watched so many scary movies together. He loves scary movies.
That's great.
And he's been wanting to watch them for a while, for like 2 years. So I think we watched the first one when he was 6 years old. And the first scary movie that we saw was one of the Chucky films that I was mentioned in. They had like a screen grab of my website, which they got approval from. And I thought it was so cool. Like, oh my God, my website's
right.
Chucky movie. So he watched that. And ever since then, we've been watching more. But every kid is different. Like my 6-year-old daughter, no desire to watch a scary movie.
Yeah.
So I'm not forcing her. No, you don't. She doesn't need to watch a scary movie. My son wants to watch scary movies. We watch scary movies.
I never liked them as a kid. I always got nightmares. I did not watch scary movies. I still to this day don't really like scary movies.
Oh, it's my favorite genre.
Yeah, I don't like being scared, I guess. I don't know what it is. All right.
Hi, Perez. Hi, Booker. It's Danielle calling from British Columbia in Canada. Love the podcast. Listen every week. I'm just calling to comment about the Naomi Osaka and kind of her public speaking anxiety. Could be more to it than that, but one aspect that I've just been thinking about is whether she's like working on that, because there's lots of treatments that can help people with that type of anxiety, whether it's exposure therapy, so that maybe eventually down the road she could feel more comfortable doing those kind of speaking events. Anyways, just food for thought. Wondering if you guys had considered that too. Bye.
Wait, I need to Google that. I've never heard of exposure therapy. What is that? A psychological treatment that was developed to help people confront their fears. Okay. I mean, I guess that involves exposing the target patient to the anxiety source. Yeah. I mean, just do it. Basically, that's the concept of exposure therapy. Just do it.
Yeah. Do it till you get over it.
Yeah.
All right. Another call.
Hey, Perez. Hey, Booker. It's Kylie from New Jersey. I'm calling about the whole Army Hammer thing. Not only do I not care, but I didn't even know who this guy was until the controversy came out. So I'm certainly not going to care about him going to rehab or any of that. I feel bad. I hope the best for the guy. But no, I don't care. Don't know who he is. I hate to agree with Booker sometimes because I typically agree with Perez, but got to go with him on this one. Love you guys. Have a great one. Bye.
Yeah. In defense of my I don't cares, because that's when I say I don't care about. And I think a lot of people agree with me on that one, that, you know, we're just not that invested in Army Hammer.
But I then heard, you know, some people, like, you don't know why people care or don't care about things. Like some people care just because he's hot. Like some women think he's hot and they care just because of that. Like I heard that from some people too.
Yeah. I can't picture him in my mind right now. And I do this show with you. So, you know.
I'm going to have to give you a little bit of criticism this week. You went on this long rant about how much Daytona sucks. Why did you go to Daytona? You went to the place where the only culture is bike week and NASCAR, and you're shocked you had a bad time with all these listed trucks that said Trump. All the places you could have gone. You should have gone to Clearwater Beach. You could have gone to St. Augustine. You could have gone to Fort Lauderdale. There's so many places with culture.
Okay, here's the answer to your question. I wasn't in charge. My brother was. One stuff to do with the nephew. Their cousin was also with them. That was a kid's vacation that we tried to pile, you know, my mom getting involved with. That's why. Trust me, I never would have picked Daytona, Florida on the map as the place I'm going to hit all willy-nilly. Okay. Not my call. And it did suck.
I would avoid Clearwater though, because Scientologists that's like the capital, the global capital of Scientology. Like they've migrated there. And so like they've overtaken the city. It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I have no problem with the Scientologists, whatever.
I
pray to a tree. I couldn't care less. One more.
Hi, it's Stephanie from Canada, and Perez said to call in about our opinions on the Army Hammer and if we care or not. I'm going to keep it super quick. No, don't care about Army Hammer. Bye.
There you go.
All right, well, we didn't talk about him today, but
no Army.
We are talking about the podcast. If you want to help us grow it, I honestly, and I'm glad I saved it to the end. I was not feeling good today. I'm not in a good place, but doing this show makes me feel better. So I love doing it. And we've been doing this for 6 years now. 6 years this summer.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. So I'm still hungry to make this bigger and better. And we're really like this week, I think is better. I sound better. We've got the little overlay on the video. It looks better. So share the link on YouTube or share the audio link, perezpodcast.com. And we will see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and watching.
Yes.
Take
Bye.
care.
All right.